Welcome to Lazy RV Kitchen, cooking in my own kitchen. So today is the day before Christmas and we're going to be heading out to go camping in Florida on the Panhandle at a state park. So we're going to make some meal prep a little bit ahead of time before we leave, so that we have some freezer meals and so that we can not eat out so much, because there aren't that many places to eat where we're going. So today we're going to make a baked spaghetti, in the sense that we are going to make it first, put it in a dish, and then we are going to let it cool down, freeze it, and then bake it off when we get to Florida. So here are the ingredients. You need a can of your favorite pre-made tomato sauce. I like an extra can of tomatoes for some chunkiness. A ground meat of your choice. I like capers for some salty bite. Everything is better with garlic. Our garlic salt blend. Our friend, the crushed red pepper flake. If you do not enjoy spice, you can leave this out. You do need some Italian seasoning. I'm going to put a layer of some Alfredo sauce on, and then we're going to add some Parmesan cheese. So let's get cooking. Okay. Alright, so I've put my InstantPot on sauté. You can hear it beeping. I'm going to add a little bit of olive oil. We don't want the meat to stick. I'm using my InstantPot because I can cook everything in one thing, so we don't have to clean up a lot of stuff. So I'm going to let that come to kind of heat up a little bit. I'm going to add my red pepper flake to the oil. Now, you don't have to add red pepper flakes if you are not a spicy person. We are spicy people. So, you can see I add a lot of red pepper flake. One thing I found with the InstantPot is you do have to add more seasonings, I think, to make it as flavorful if you were doing it on the stovetop. So now that I hear my oil sizzling, I'm going to take my ground meat. You could use turkey, you could use ground pork, you could use beef. We have venison, and I'm going to drop it in there. And I'm going to start breaking it up. We use venison because venison is a very lean meat.
And I like to hunt.
And Mark likes to hunt. It's also, you don't have to clear a lot of land for the deer because they live in the woods. So, we use venison. I like it. I like the flavor of it. Some people maybe not care for the gaminess. Can always pick your ground meat of choice. It's also good without meat if you want to be vegetarian. And you cannot add the cheese and the Alfredo sauce if you want to be vegan. So right now I'm letting the meat brown off, and then I'm going to start adding some of the other flavors so that we can continue our journey of cooking the pasta. Okay, so we are going to add one more surprise ingredient. This is beef broth, and I'll show you what we're going to use that for. But first, I'm going to add a whole thing of capers. Now, if you do not like olives, or if you're not into that salty, briny, acidic taste, you can leave them out too. But I love capers, and I'm adding all of them. I'm also going to add our friend the garlic. And really, the friend the garlic just needs you to measure with your heart. And my heart says 3 teaspoons. Ish. If you don't like garlic, we're probably not the YouTube channel for you, because garlic kind of goes with everything. Alright, I'm going to add about 1 to 2 tablespoons. Looks like 2, a little bit more. There's 2 tablespoons of Italian seasoning. And now I'm just going to mix it all together with the meat. So what I want is I want the garlic and the seasonings to kind of get happy and kind of mix in with the meat. Now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add this can of Rotel. And the reason I'm adding the can of Rotel is so that the liquid will get in there and I can scrape up the brown bits that are on the bottom. Remember, the brown bits equal flavor. So I'm just kind of scraping everything down, getting everything loved all up in there. Okay. I can smell the capers. They've got a nice little acidic smell, a little lemon. So I'm going to take off this saute mode. And now I'm going to start layering the noodles. So when you are doing an InstantPot recipe, you have to be cognizant of how much moisture, how much liquid you are using. Because it's a pressure cooker, so it needs to build up pressure in order to cook what you need. So I'm going to take some of the noodles, and I like the half-length spaghetti. I know my Italian friends are probably going to say don't use that, but sorry. Now I'm going to layer it with some sauce. Now I'm going to take the spaghetti, I'm going to fan it out again, and I'm going to layer it with the sauce. I'll take the rest of the spaghetti, layer it. Now, I don't have a lot of sauce left, so I'm going to take the beef broth and I'm going to pour it in the can. If you're using a jar, it will work. I'm going to get what's left of the sauce from the can. And I'm going to add this on top of my spaghetti. Okay. Add the rest of the spaghetti. And we're going to add the rest. Okay, still some more there. You really just want the liquid to go above the spaghetti. I'm just going to add the whole thing. Now I'm going to take my garlic salt. I'm not going to add a ton, but I'm going to kind of season the broth just a little bit. A couple of healthy pinches. And now we're going to start the pressure cooking process. So I'm going to take the lid. One of the things, if you have a InstantPot, is get one of these little releasers. Mine is a dragon. Because it will save your cabinets, because if you don't have one of these, the steam sprays up. And if it's under a cabinet, you could start, you know, making your cabinet go a little wonky. So we're going to do the pressure cook. Now I don't want it for 17 minutes. I'm going to lower it to 13. And what this will do is it will cook it till just under al dente. So that when we reheat it, it will finish cooking in the sauce and finish cooking in the oven. So we're going to wait for it to come up to pressure. And then we are going to finish up with our baked spaghetti and putting it in the freezer pan. Alright, so we've let our spaghetti cool. And we're now going to prep it for going into the freezer. So we're going to start with a little bit of jarred Alfredo sauce. I'm just going to kind of let that zhuzh around. Then I'm going to layer some of the spaghetti on top. If you make this, it'll make about two, it'll make one really big thing for your freezer, or it can make two of these smaller things. Okay.
Depends on how much you smash it down.
That's true. We're gonna like really sort of get it in there, get as much of it in there as possible. Now, when you are ready to prep, I don't want to go too much so it will seal nicely. Now, I do have some left over, but that's fine. I'm going to add another little layer. Then we'll add some Parmesan cheese. When it cooks down, it will, of course, meld with the spaghetti, but it gives it a nice little extra richness with the Alfredo sauce. Alright, so I got these containers at Walmart.
Other way.
What?
Other way.
Other way?
The metal side goes.
Oh. Pardon me. And now I'm just going to seal it really good. And I'm going to grab a Sharpie, or Mark is going to grab a Sharpie for me. Good Alfredo. Queen. Alright. Make sure everything is tight, tight, tight. Wipe off the excess Alfredo sauce, as one does. And then I'm going to write on the lid, spaghetti bake, 350 for about 40 to 50 minutes from frozen. And there you have it. You have one prep dish. It's now going to go in the freezer, and it will be ready to go camping.